It is time again for another mystery box challenge. Hey everyone, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to my channel. If you love high-end home decor and DIYs on a budget, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe so that you too can become part of the familia. If this is your first time watching, the Mystery Box Challenge is a challenge created by my dear friend Courtney over at Creative on the Cheap. She gathers a group of talented YouTubers and we have to select several items and ship it off to another person without them knowing what's inside. But there's a couple of rules. Most of the time, it's Dollar Tree items. However, this month we are doing items from any store. So anything goes this time. There are supposed to be 2 challenge items in each of the boxes. You know, not something that you would normally consider crafting or DIYing with. And this time, there's a twist. We have to incorporate a non-perishable food item into our DIY. There's gonna be a playlist in my description box below where you can see what everyone sent each other and see what they came up with. Okay, so I have my box right here. And this box was sent to me by my dear friend Nicole over at The Week's Nest. If you don't know who Nicole is, you definitely need to check her channel out. She is one of the sweetest people I know. I'll make sure to link to her channel in my description box as well. And I sent my box over to Wendy over at White Sparrow Living. So make sure to check her video out to see what she got from me. I went thrifting for her, and let me tell you something, her box, I wanted to keep. So definitely check her out. Now, another rule we have to follow is that we have to open the box in front of the camera so that the camera catches our very first reactions to what's inside. So I'm about to open this, and I haven't seen anything inside. I just removed the tape. We're gonna dive right in. All right, here we go. Ooh, I see something I like already. Woo! Okay. All right. Oh, okay. All right, what's the first item? I love it. All right. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys the prices of this just so you guys can get an idea, because I am actually curious as well as to what like thrifted items cost in other places. So this rolling pin, very cute. Man, it looks so good as is. But this one costs $4. So that's interesting. Oh. A birdhouse, $5. If I don't keep this a birdhouse, my kids are gonna like get mad at me. All right, let's see. What? Let me get, oh! Yami, I hope you have fun crafting with this mystery box. Can't wait to see what you create. I included some thrift goodies because I love your thrift makeovers. Have fun, girl. Nicole. Okay, so we got a little candlestick. This looks like it's from Michael's. All right. Okay, this is a mystery item. Oh no. I felt something move inside of it. Oh my gosh. No. Okay. Another candlestick. I like it. I like that there's 2. Another mystery item. Let's put that down. This was kind of gross. You know how you get those thrift store items when they're kind of icky? Yeah, okay. I don't know what this is. It's got cork on it. Looks like a tray. It's $2. It looks like a tray because it's got kind of like these little indentations where you can hold them right there. Oh my gosh, this is interesting. Look at that. Sweet. Oh, okay. All right, I see it. It's coming apart, but I can fix it. $3. It's like a little corner shelf. It's like, yeah, like a little shelf that goes in a corner. Oh my God, that's really cute. Hey, I dropped something. Okay. Okay, then I got some of these little tumbling tower blocks. All right. just want to make sure there's nothing else in there. Sweet. Now for the Peachtree box items, I don't know. I'll leave that one for last. I'm scared of that one. I'm scared of that one. All right, this one's soft. Let's do... Oh, you're killing me. Nicole! A non-slip... I can't even say it. A non-slip rug underlay. You know, like those little things that you put underneath the rug so it doesn't slip. Yeah. She got me one of those. Yeah. Okay. I got you, girl. Courtney, can I have Nicole next time so I can get her back? Because this one's gonna... Stop. What is this? Liquid inside? This is why I'm... Agua de coco. A can of agua de coco. You know, I'm gonna drink that. I'm gonna drink it. Make something out of this. At least it's Goya. So whatever I make out of this, tiene que ser bueno. All right, let's see what I am gonna come up with for this challenge.
Okay, so we are going to tackle the little cute shelf first. And the first thing I did was give it a good wipe down and cleaning. I added some plastic wood in order to cover up these two little holes that were on the shelf. And then I sanded everything down to make it nice and smooth. And then for the color, I decided to go with the Waverly Chalk Paint in Elephant. It's the same color that I used on my little side table as well as the footstool in my last furniture flip video. And I gave it 2 coats for full coverage. I set that aside and I pulled out my non-slip rug underlay. I laid it down, and what I decided to do was take a makeup sponge and add some of Home Decor Folk Art's antiquing wax to it, and then I began to dab it all over the little slip thing. What's it called again? Underlay. Once it was dry, I laid it on the table and I placed my little shelf right on top of it and cut it so that it would fit nicely on the back of it so that you can see it through the openings that were on the shelf. And then I began to hot glue it on the back of the shelf. Now I know the back of the shelf is not painted, it's not finished, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. And if at any point this part of the shelf were to be exposed, I would finish it off. However, it's going to go up against 2 walls and I won't see any of it. So for right now, it stays unfinished. And the final step was to seal it with my favorite wax, which is Debbie's Design Diaries clear wax. Now I will say I'm going to shoot this without nothing on it, and then later on in the video I will share what something looks like on the shelf so you can see what it looks like styled, but that will come later after I do another DIY. So for the next DIY, we're going to go ahead and tackle this little tray with the cork on it. This little icky tray with the cork on it. So the first thing I did was remove that cork that was laying on top of it. Now I thought that if I removed it, it would have kind of like an indentation inside of it, but I was happily surprised that the wood piece was just one solid straight piece of wood underneath the cork. I will say this was kind of a pain in the butt, but I was able to get everything off. After I removed the cork, I sanded everything nice and smooth. So I have been an ambassador for Plaid for a couple years now, and every once in a while they'll send me some free samples of some of their new products that come up, and they sent me this stencil. And this is supposed to be for like raised stenciling, so they sent me some medium that I'm supposed to basically just rub along it, and it's supposed to create a raised stencil. Now, I'll be honest with you, this smelled pretty funny, and it said that you're not supposed to really touch it, and I wasn't really impressed with it. And the reason I'm using the color orange is because that's a free sample that they gave me. I could probably do this with like spackle and get the same result, but I did want to share my thoughts on it. You can definitely leave it like this, but I wanted to try something, and I decided just to go ahead and use the white paint that I used on that little footstool that I shared earlier and paint everything in this color white. And I also gave this 2 coats as well. Once that was dry, I took my Rust-Oleum chalked aged glaze and I applied it throughout the entire front of this little plaque. And at first I applied it with a rag, but then I applied it with a brush in order to get into all the nooks and crevices, and then I removed the excess with the rag. I was trying to create an antique plaque where you would see all of the recessed spaces darker than the rest. And that was pretty much it. You can add one of those little saw tooth hooks on the back and hang it up on your wall just as is. So the next DIY is going to be this rolling pin, and I'm going to give it a facelift. Now I don't need to use this for practical purposes because I already have a rolling pin in my kitchen that I use and works just fine. So I am going to paint this. And I'm going to use that same Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. And I just focused on the handles for this. And I did give this 2 coats as well. Next, I wanted to remove all the little imperfections and just little pieces of dirt that were just on the surface of it. I wasn't trying to be perfect because I did want this to look like an antique or an older rolling pin, but I did think that sanding it down and just getting some of the stuff that was on the surface off would really make a difference. So another product that I had gotten to sample from Plaid was this rub-on transfer, and I thought that this would be a nice opportunity to try these out. So I took one out that I thought would look really nice on it, and then I began to place it around and try to figure out how it would look best. And I decided to go with 2 transfers on either end. Now placing it was a little tricky at first because I was trying to make sure that it was nice and straight. When I was finally happy with the placement, I simply used my little Cricut spatula thingy and rubbed it all over to make sure that the rub-on came off. And I will say though that these rub-on transfers were actually really nice. They came off really well and they look pretty good. Now, when I pulled off the plastic from the transfer, I did go over the rub-on itself and just kind of tried to press it even more onto the rolling pin. And then in order to seal everything, I used the same clear wax that I used on my little shelf, and I just sealed everything, both the rolling pin portion and the handles. And here is how it turned out. Now for these two candlesticks, I actually had gone to see if I can find more of them because I do have an idea of something that I want to do for a fall piece. However, Michael's discontinued these and I wasn't able to find any more at my local Michael's. So I'm going to try and see if I can find some for my idea that I had originally. Now I'm just going to make these over now in what I want them to look like. But again, I'm hoping that I can get some more. And as you can see, I'm using the same antiquing wax and makeup sponge that I had used for that little rug underlay that I had painted earlier. And I'm using that antiquing wax to give everything a stain. Now I don't want these to be perfect because I want them to look really old. And so I wasn't trying to get in all of those little nooks and crevices. As a matter of fact, I did like them that they were lighter and didn't have any of the stain. Now, in order to age them a little bit more, I did sand them down in several areas to kind of take away some of that stain. And then after that, I added some white wax to the candlestick, and you can see the difference right there. And so basically I made sure that I got white wax through all those little creases, and then I would rub it off and then all over the rest of the candlestick. And then after the wax was dry, I added a couple of tapered candles and these were done. So for this cute little birdhouse, the first thing I did was remove the little beads that were at the top just so I can paint it. I'm actually going to put those back on because they work just fine. Now if you're wondering, I did wipe this down as well, making sure that the surface was clean as I did everything else. And basically I decided to just go with a classic black and white look for this birdhouse. And I just used some of my black folk art chalk paint that I had on hand. And then I used some white chalk paint for the rest of the birdhouse. After I had given it the second coat and set it out to dry, I got some popsicle sticks and decided to make some shutters for the little house. And I used my miter shears for this. And these were really simple. I just cut down 3 little pieces and put them side by side vertically, and then hot glued some pieces on the top and the bottom in the opposite direction. And I just used some hot glue in order to attach them together. And then I took some of that antiquing wax that I had used on the candlesticks and applied it to these as well. And then using some hot glue, I attached them to the little birdhouse. Again, I used some of the same clear wax in order to apply it all over and seal the paint. I restrung the beads using some thick baker's twine and I attached it to the birdhouse. So I had the little Jenga pieces and I had seen people do these before and I thought, hey, why not make a cute little plant stand out of it? I had never done it before and it didn't come out as good as I had hoped. However, I gave it a good shot. So I decided to glue them together as you see right here. And I cut a couple of them down so that it wouldn't be so wide. But in retrospect, I should have done it to all of them because one side is going to be a little bit longer than the other. And this is what it looked like when I had everything put together. And I'm sorry that my camera cuts parts of this off. I had no idea that my camera was angled a little bit higher than it should have been. And then I took that same antiquing wax and I just painted all over the little Jenga pieces so that it would look like it was stained. As for this can, I had tried to drill into it to see if I can drill some holes, but there was a lot of metal shredding everywhere and I was not about to deal with that, so I stopped and I said, okay, we're just gonna go with simple, but I'm gonna make this as cute as possible. And I began using this macrame cord that I bought a while back for another trash to treasure video that I did, and I said, let me start wrapping this around and try to come up with something really cute. I wanted to wrap this around as tight as possible. I kept going around and using hot glue on different sections. I didn't hot glue it in every single part, but I wanted to make sure that it was nice on there and secure. Now at first I thought I was going to do the entire can, but then I was like, nope, not going to happen. This is going to look too weird. So my sweet husband cut it with his metal saw, which is why part of the can is missing now. So I just continued to wrap it around and I made sure to cover the very top edge so that I wouldn't get cut. So after I was done with the macrame cord, I decided that I wanted to make it look like a really cute mini basket. And so I took another piece of cord and I applied it with some hot glue, as you see me doing right here. And I made sure to do 2 of these cute little handles. After that, I cut a little piece of floral foam and inserted it in the center. And then for my dried non-perishable food item, I took some split peas. Yes, the same ones that I used in my spring and St. Patrick's Day DIYs, a couple of years ago, I still had some left over. Needless to say, I bought a ton of them. And I thought, why not use this for this little container? I placed it on top of the little wooden stand. I added a little Dollar Tree succulent, and I was done.
So that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to give this video a like and make sure to let me know in the comments below which one of these was your favorite. If you're joining in from any of the other girls' channels, don't forget to subscribe if you wish to get more inspiration every week. The playlist with the rest of the videos is in my description box below. Don't forget to check it out and see what everyone else got and what they created. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next week with another home decor and DIY video. Until then, adios!